As always, I'm your host, Keanen and joined by my co-host, Alex Tanaka. It was actually, I'd say, a pretty busy week for an MLB
A
offseason.
pleasantly busy week for the offseason.
Pleasantly busy, yeah. Yeah, but before we get into the moves that happened, the couple of moves that happened, big signing, big trade, we'll run through the awards real quick. We talked about them last week. We talked about our predictions. Nothing too shocking. Maybe just the Skenes unanimous, which I feel like you would be the last person to say he would have went unanimous.
Yeah, I thought Sanchez was going to get a bit more appreciation. He had a really, really good season. Like if you look at the numbers, they were so close. But I can understand that the narrative behind Skeens, how dumb he was when he was on the mound, like the K's and everything, and how good he is for baseball. So it makes sense people weren't going to put him second on their ballot. So and I'm not even that upset about it. To me, I don't really care if someone's unanimous or not. If you give someone a reason to put you in first, that's totally fine with me.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I thought Sanchez would have gotten a couple just because it's easier to vote for a player playing on a playoff team too.
100%. Yeah.
Like there is more recognition. You can directly see the impact, but at the same time, everyone sees
That's the
most of
thing
the
is
impact
he's
too.
transcending the narrative. You have to be on the
Yeah,
winner to be a major award winner because of the gravity that he attracts. So I think it's just more to his credit with the way that he performs and how good he is for baseball that he's able to win this award on one of the worst, most unwatchable teams of the past 10 years, right? Like no, that's what they are.
yeah,
They are hard
it
to
is true. No,
watch,
it's true.
and you still want to turn up and
They've
watch a
been
pitch though.
difficult to
So it's
watch
it's more to his
for a long
credit than
time.
anything that he gets that award.
It is. AL MVP very close too. It was 17 to 13 in terms of first place
Yeah,
votes.
is this the most hotly contested MVP race ever
Since
since
maybe
Twitter became a thing?
I was gonna say Votto and
Otto
Stanton, but these
deserved it
two
over Stanton. I'll
players were on
die
the
on that
lead team.
hill.
Yeah, that one was very contested. Um,
But in the end, see, they made the right decision this time, going with the person who had a more
mhm.
productive offensive season than the guy who just had more home runs. And I am so sick of seeing Mariner fans on Twitter saying he's a switch hitting catcher. One, I don't really care about if you're a switch hitter or not. I don't think that adds a whole lot of value. Maybe it does a little bit if you care about righty lefty, but I don't think it's that big of a deal because good hitters hit pitchers anyways. Like when you're an MVP level player, you should produce against righties and lefties anyways. So I
Yeah,
don't care about the whole switch hitting catcher thing. Yeah, he's a catcher, and he had zero pass balls. It's pretty hard to give a pass ball in major leagues like that. I don't really care about that. Like to me, that does nothing for me. He did manage a pretty good pitching staff, but they kind of weren't on their game this year. They were a bit, there was injuries, I guess you could say too.
yeah,
But like, let's not give the guy too much credit for managing the pitching staff. Again, with how many coaches they have, with how many video coaches there are, with how many statisticians work for these teams now, it's not like it was 30, 40 years ago where it's just the catcher and the pitcher worked on the game plan. They have an army of nerds working on pitch location, where to go and what count. Yes, you still need a feel for the game, but that doesn't, fill in the significant gap in the type of offensive season that Cal Raleigh had compared to Aaron Judge. Like it
no, 100%. Um, I think it was deserved to be this close though. They both deserved first place votes because they were both very MVP-esque. But like you said, the best player won it, and I think that his third MVP.
yeah, it would have been four if he won in 2017.
Yeah, well, should be
Yeah,
four.
but three MVPs for Aaron
That
Judge.
was
Wow, wow.
yeah. Seattle though, getting right to it, bringing in Naylor too, re-signing
Strong move.
Josh Naylor,
Really
5 years,
like the
ninety-two
message.
and a half million
I
dollars.
love the message that it sends. Love
Huge.
the message.
Oh, it's an amazing contract for a guy who came here and immediately produced. I think he had a 30-30 pace if his whole season was in Seattle, or if not, it was close.
Yeah, he was really good with Seattle, and they made the right decision, obviously, re-signing him instead of Suarez. But
Yeah,
he's filling the need that he was hired to do at the deadline, right? So now you have him for 5 more years. You have him and you have Cal together. I think that's a really, Julio as well. So that's a really good offensive core. He fills in the power gap that, you never want to have just one because you can pitch
yeah,
around that, right? So he's going to get a lot of good looks having Raleigh in the lineup. So It just makes sense for both sides. He seems to really like Seattle, so I mean he's a Canadian guy, so he probably familiar with the Mariners and all that. So I think it's a good move.
I think it kind of takes him out of the Murakami
It
race, though.
does. It does. That was
Yeah,
contingent on.
we called it a dark horse last week, but I think it's a smarter signing.
Yeah, unless they have
Like the
plans of.
Murakami's a little
I
riskier.
mean, maybe though. Maybe you DH Murakami, but then that cuts into Raleigh's off days, and it's kind of eh.
It also you're pigeonholing Harry Ford there too.
You are, yeah, true. They don't care about Harry Ford. They've shown
That's true.
time and time
That's true
again
too.
they do not care about prospect development on any sort of regular timeline.
Unless it's a pitcher, they love that.
Yeah, you know
We'll
what?
develop
We,
we'll
we
develop a
shouldn't
pitcher
doubt Jared
perfectly.
DePoto now. Let's just let the guy cook.
No, yeah, let him cook. Let him cook. Though on the other side, Pittsburgh, they were prepared. I air quote that because this is Pittsburgh looking for sympathy. Prepared to give him a contract over $80 million. I don't entirely buy
I
it.
I do buy it because I don't think they want to like I think they're dangerously close to having like a grievance filed against them from the MLBPA.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Because come on, like
They-
they need to at some point demonstrate we have the financial capabilities of signing a multi-year free agent or a player who will make our team marginally better. So who knows? Maybe the Skenes thing on the pitching staff's enticing to someone. Maybe JT Real Muto. Ah,
yeah, that's been going
that's
around.
it's been
That's
getting
been rumored.
traction. I don't know, if it's that real, but if they want to spend money on
They're linked to Schwarber
hey,
too. They're linked to Schwarber too, and that would be
that would be a great
huge.
get. I hope Schwarber goes. I don't want to spoil it. I hope he goes to a different NL Central team. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think if anyone's seen the show before, they know
You
who you
don't.
want them to
No
go
one
to, though.
watches. No one listens.
No one watches, but it's the
Yeah,
most
it is. It
obvious
is. It's
like
very
thing ever.
obvious.
Yeah. One other thing with the Pirates, though, there was that other rumor that an anonymous Pirates player came forth and said Paul Skenes wants to pitch for the Yankees. It's going to happen.
Do we know who initially broke that story?
I don't
Because
remember,
that
but it was
sounds
big enough
made
that
up.
Paul Skenes had to
And
shut
he,
it down.
he instantly shut it down. Like it just sounds made up. It sounds like somebody wanted some clicks on their X accounts. They get a little paycheck.
Yeah, that's true. And everything Paul Skeens has done since being drafted by Pittsburgh is directly trying to bring in talent, calling out ownership, just saying he wants to win in Pittsburgh. The fans deserve it. He wants to pitch in the playoffs here. Why would he just behind the scenes be like, "I'm going to the
Yeah,
Yankees,
his
guys"?
exact quote
It's so out
when
of
he
character.
and when he cleared the air, he said the plan is to win. The plan is to win in Pittsburgh. That's not somebody who's looking for a way out. That's somebody who wants to bring talent in. So maybe this ex teammate's looking for attention. Maybe it's a journalist looking to make their name. Either way, really disappointing to hear that that might have been a possibility. Really happy to hear that it wasn't real. So
Yeah, yeah, no, and Pittsburgh's in. I mean, they're in a great situation for free agents. There is a lot of money to be dished out there. They have no payroll at all.
yeah, they
Like
have the money. They have the
if
money,
if there's ever a
especially if they
chance,
bring up
it's
Connor
right
Griffin.
now.
That's another cheap prospect they control. Uh,
They want to they want to bring him
yeah,
up
for
too.
opening day. Give him a chance to compete. Why not? It'd be really good if you guys had like some good veteran hitters, maybe. Just my opinion. Don't cancel me, but maybe you sign some experienced major league players to multi-year contracts. That's just how I would do it. I don't know. They seem to have different plans, but signing good players to make your team good over many years is a good plan. So obviously, it's not the Pittsburgh Pirates way, but if you want to show that you're at least kind of serious about being competitive, I think this offseason, you don't need to go out and get Kyle Tucker or even Kyle Schwarber,
Yeah,
but like you need some,
some B tier
yeah, you
players.
need some like not high impact, but like just some decent players here, okay? Like just some guys who can help make a
Yeah,
difference.
something to build around. You can't like you're gonna throw Connor Griffin into
Yeah, you
nothing.
just need
Like
complementary pieces.
you got to put protection around him. If like he's the number one prospect right now, if he truly is that good, you need other players around him.
100%. It can't just be him by himself. Like, why not like get like Glaber or Jorge Polanco or someone like that who's a decent enough veteran.
Glaber accepted the qualifying
Oh, he
offer.
did accept. Yeah, Grisham did too, by the way.
Yeah, he wasn't getting more money
You don't think he could
elsewhere.
have gotten a bit more? Maybe not.
No, he's a one-year
Yeah,
wonder. Look at every other year of his
true.
career. He's like
That's
31
true.
now.
Yeah. The only surprise was Bieber, I guess, from the qualifying offers. I'd say that Bieber.
Bieber wasn't a qual.
Did he not? What?
Yeah, okay.
No, no. His option
Bieber
got picked up.
wasn't a
Yeah, that
qualifying
he
offer.
took the up. That was the only weird one. Yeah.
Yeah,
But going
yeah.
back to the
No,
Pirates thing,
it's
you want to see forward progress. You
you do.
just need to
As
see
a fan,
front office progress. You need to see spending.
they're so close to understanding what the offseason
Oh,
is. They're
they're
like,
right
hey, we
there.
like
They're
this
right
guy.
there.
They're so close. They're like, it's like teaching someone something new. They're like, okay, so you can sign this guy. We're like, we like him. Now give him the
Oh,
money. Like, what? Hey, what is this money?
nah, bro.
We don't
Nah,
do
bro.
that here. Nah,
They
not our
have
thing.
Luis Arias written all over them. That'd be so funny. It's
That's
like
good.
that's the guy, the most overrated player in baseball. That's our guy.
They're gonna be like, dude, we almost got Schwarber. We almost got Naylor. Luis
We're bringing in a batting
Arias.
champion. Fuck.
Yeah. Biggest trade of the offseason so far, because it's the only notable trade. Taylor Ward for Grayson Rodriguez, 1-for-1. Did not see this coming. We talked about it last week. Taylor Ward was going to be moved to Baltimore. I didn't see that coming. Grayson Rodriguez leaving, also did not see that coming. This says two things to me. The Angels, which you said this off air, so I'll give you credit for it. The Angels think Rodriguez can pitch, and
They have to
also,
think he can
in
pitch.
my
They have
opinion,
to. It was a 1-for-1 swap.
they have to. They obviously have
They
to.
must feel very confident in his physicals. They must have surely worked with the Orioles team doctors as well and brought in their own
Yeah,
doctors. They have to feel comfortable.
you're giving them too much credit here. You
I
are
might
giving them
be
too much credit.
because it's just a health thing with Grayson Rodriguez.
It
That's
is.
all it is. I think he has team control till 2029. That may
Yeah, a
that may
couple of
be a year or
years.
two off, but it works out well for them because they're selling probably at Taylor Ward's highest peak value.
Hmm.
Like he's kind of mastered the art of being a really good player but never getting all-star consideration. Well, never really becoming an all-star and never getting like down ballot MVP votes that make you relevant. He's just
Yeah,
a really good player and you were not going to keep him. Makes sense to move him. Doesn't make sense to move him for a guy like Grayson Rodriguez, who's a medical question mark, unless you are extremely confident that maybe the Orioles doctors don't know what they're doing when it comes to evaluating pitching arms. Because guess who they failed on the physical last year? Jeff Hoffman, who came in and pitched for Toronto, no real medical issues there, right? So maybe they just feel like their doctors have a better idea of what's going on. I think it could be a really good move for Baltimore, but I don't know.
I like the trade in terms of getting an MLB player instead of a bunch of
Yes.
prospects because the Angels' prospect development has been atrocious.
But the thing is, Keenan, they're catching on that their minor league system sucks, and they're just promoting everybody so fast. They're like, our guys in the minors can't develop anybody, so we're gonna bring these guys up so fast and rush them, and we'll figure it out from there with vibes. Kind of love the idea.
They're choosing to work on the
Yeah,
fly.
and
Like they've been given all the options, and they're
yeah,
we'll figure this
they're on
out on
like
the fly.
Plan
There's
Z
no
right now.
plan. We'll just
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
To bring it
yeah.
back to Baltimore, the other thing I was going to say is this also with them trading away Grayson Rodriguez, it tells me they're going to go after a top free agent starting pitcher because that was their problem last
Yeah.
year. And if you're trading away the guy that you developed, that was the face of their prospect pitching,
Yeah,
right? For a couple of
he was the
years.
next
He was their
Baltimore
big
starter. Like he's the next guy.
he was the next Baltimore starter. If you're going to trade that away, despite the injuries, to me it says you're going to be aggressive in the free agent
Maybe
market.
like a Cease,
Maybe like a Valdez,
Valdez.
maybe
Wow, I like that,
a
Keenan.
little hint as to what's coming
Valdez
later.
would be good. I like Valdez. That's a good call.
I think they're gonna go all in for one
No,
of those
great
guys.
idea.
Like the front office was so apparent that this was on them and not ownership. I feel like they've got the green
Or
light
you
to
want to
bring
send a
in one of the
message,
top
you
guys.
trade for Freddie Peralta.
Ooh, that would be
That'd be a
bold. To take another Brewers starting
yeah,
pitcher.
but it does feel like this new ownership of the Orioles is okay with being a little bit bold.
Yeah, they were bold. They brought in Corbin Burns like a week after they became
Yeah, and then
Orioles.
they just signed Saldano, the catcher, right? Like he comes up.
Basayo,
What?
Samuel
Basayo, what?
Basayo.
I had an S in there. Okay, I had a long day of work. All right, don't get.
You did.
They signed
You're good.
him to an 8-year deal when you have Adley Rutschman,
Yeah,
and now I'm hearing they're taking calls on him. They're definitely not afraid to be aggressive. That's for damn sure.
yeah, and when you've got the plethora of offensive talent they have, you got to be a little aggressive. You got to make those decisions because you're not keeping everyone, and everyone's also not going to pan
Yeah,
out
well, they
perfectly.
can't afford to have a year like they did last year. At
No,
this
not a
stage in their
chance.
competitive
They,
window, if you want to call it that, um, you can't be finishing last like this. You can't be.
yeah, it does rely on what they do at the pitching market too, though.
Yeah, one starter's not going to be enough. I hate to break it to everybody. I
Yeah,
hate to break it. Just
yeah,
getting Peralta or Valdez is not going to solve all their issues.
yeah. Raisel Iglesias back with the Braves, a 1 year,
Good
$16
move.
million deal. He was really good last 2 months of the year, awful the first half. I think he was like borderline mid five ERA for most of the season, and then just locked in
That's what you
August.
need, though. You'd rather at that than be locked in and then everything falls apart in August
Yeah,
and September. So he's a veteran arm.
that's
He's a known
true.
quantity. It makes sense that Atlanta wants to keep him around.
Yeah, he's been solid for them other than the first half of this year. I don't hate it. Other pitching news, Frankie Montas has been DFA'd by the New York Mets, quickly looking like one of the worst free agent signings of
Brutal.
last year.
Not not
He
good.
was they didn't even want him to
No.
rehab with
And
their
wasn't he
team.
brought in?
This
Wasn't
that's how
there like
bad it
he's
went.
brought in to bring like stability to that rotation? Because it was kind of a mess the year before. Like I don't get it.
It was a mess 2024, and then he got hurt before
Yeah,
the season
he never really
started,
got
and it
going,
was
right? Like they, because
no.
it's the rotation's kind of always been a mess when they've been competitive. Because Senga's been in and out of that rotation. Like they resurrected Sean Manaea, that was incredible. Like, but you can't really win like that. So I don't know. I'm hesitant because the Mets feel like they're in on everybody. But yeah, Montes, that's a failure. It's not really even their fault though. You can't even met it. It's just the Mets.
Yeah,
It's just the Mets.
they're just it's just the Mets. It's just what happens with them. They didn't even like. There's nothing wrong with you tried, and it just
They're
didn't
really going
work.
for it. They're really
That's what the Mets. That's the award the Mets deserve.
They're
The you
really going
tried.
for an award. Yeah, that's great. The hey, you guys are swinging.
At least you
You guys are
tried.
swinging for it, and credit to you.
Yeah. Couple of qualifying offers accepted, more than I thought. Shota Imanaga, this is the most confusing one. We'll get to him in a moment. Trent Grisham, I said earlier I didn't think he was getting more money elsewhere. Brendan Woodruff, good for him. He's had some injuries, and Glaber Torres. Everyone thought Torres was going to accept.
Yeah. No, it. Sorry, I forgot Torres accepted his qualifying offer. I don't live on baseball Twitter, but yeah, no, all
Yeah,
kind of makes sense. All kind of makes sense, right?
you say that for Imanaga too.
I get it. He's not been like a like an ace though. You know what I mean? Like
He could have gotten a
he
multi-year
could
deal.
have. He may feel like after this season he's going to get a bigger multi-year deal. That could be the one
True.
thing is maybe it's like a quick like bet on myself. I know I've kind of been in here. I think he's going into his third season now in America. So he maybe now feels more comfortable with his preparation. He feels like he can really perform now and then sign a big ticket next year because next year's free agent class looks bad. Like it's not good at all. So maybe he feels like it's going to be
Yeah.
more friendly to him because he's not going to have to go up against like Valdez and Cease and and like Suarez. So there's going to be much less competition. I think that's maybe the strategy behind it. But yeah, it is. It is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still making a good amount of money. So
Yeah, I think just the path to getting here was so
yeah,
weird.
I understand that too. I understand that too. But
Like,
I get his line of thinking. If that's his plan, I
mhm.
understand it.
Just take the comfortable $22 million
Yeah,
dollars.
yeah. Oh, it's so
It's
confusing. Why would the guy want that? Fuck.
why would
Yeah,
he take that? Why would he accept
I don't get
22
it.
million? Yeah, it's just the
Yeah,
path was
yeah,
weird.
totally.
But like the narrative changed too. Like last week we're like, what are the Cubs doing? Well, they're getting
They're
away. They didn't want to pay him for
and
extra
they're not
years,
going
and
to,
they get
and
to
they're
keep him.
not going to.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they still get a year with him. Um, one last segment here. Well, other than State of the Jays, which we do weekly, we're going to go over the top 10 free agents remaining because Naylor has signed. We're going to predict where they go, and we're also going to give our best fit for them, 1 through 10. We'll start with one. Kyle
Oh, I
Tucker.
just put down
Where's
two
he going?
teams that I thought they would go to.
Oh, I read your message. I thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I should have done that. I'm gonna be actually it kind of works out that way anyways because that's kind of how I thought about it. I just didn't. Yeah, look, Kyle Tucker fits with the Yankees. That's where he
Yeah.
fits. On the contingent that they don't re-sign Cody Bellinger, that to me is the fit.
Hmm.
I, I think that he look lefty power bat can play the field. He just has Yankee written all over him. He's an injury-prone, inconsistent star. That being said,
Yeah.
I feel like Chicago's going to be aggressive in trying to re-sign him. That's where I think he eventually will end up. Just because you don't make that deal for a guy if you don't want to at least aggressively pursue re-signing him. I think he's going to feel like they're a competitive team. They can make the playoffs with him. That's why I think Tucker's going there, and he's number one on the board for me for free agents. So
Yeah, he's number one. Also, that would be just hilarious if they have the Imanaga deal go the way it does. Everyone goes, "Oh, they're not bringing back Tucker," and then last minute they bring him back anyways.
yes, I that would yeah. It
Like,
just makes sense with the way the Cubs have operated that they get Tucker.
I think I do think he does end up with the Dodgers. I think this is the one Dodger free agent that the Dodgers splash on. They're going to be linked to him. I think the initial report was Yankees, Dodgers, Blue Jays were the three that
Yeah,
were in on him the most. I just feel like he's going to go after the ring, play the
I
safe
get it.
bet, the team that's back
I
the
get it.
ball. It, it's one of those you don't want to see it, but it could very
Yeah,
well happen. I do have the Cubs as well being a great landing spot and who I think he's a better fit with because they
they
need
do
him
need
more.
him. They need
They do like when he was hurt, that offense was
yeah,
bad.
especially with how inconsistent PCA is at the plate too, right?
Yeah, but he's still young. He
Yeah.
can still work through
So
that.
my number two is Bo Bichette. Toronto. I think he's going to end up in Toronto. I think he's going to sign in Toronto. The only other one that makes sense maybe is Atlanta.
Yeah, but they did just bring in Dubon as a,
He wouldn't
but
be playing
I don't think
shortstop.
that they're no, they're the Braves are playing like they're a
Yeah,
small ball team
I
right
don't
now
really
for
get
some
that,
reason.
but for me with Bichette, I just think it makes sense. It's the organization that he knows. They just went to Game Seven of the World Series. The only way I could see it falling through is if he has his mind set on playing shortstop and the organization wants to transition him to second. That could be the only roadblock.
I was going to say
But
that or the organization goes all in on Kyle Tucker, which would be a
get both.
mistake.
Get both.
Yeah, I know, but if they end up they corner themselves going after Tucker for too
I
long, Bichette
understand
just
that as
goes
well.
elsewhere.
So
We do see
yeah.
that happening
To me, I
sometimes.
think
Obviously, I think the best fit for him is in Toronto. Like you said, it's the organization that brought him up. Vladdy just signed long term there. It's the
yeah,
perfect
all of
fit.
his
He's
boys are
perfect
there.
chemistry.
Like, who wants to move? I just think it makes sense for him.
Yeah. Number three.
Oh, was he your number two as well?
Yeah, I just copied your list. I thought that's
Oh,
what we were
sure. Yeah,
doing.
no. I just
You got
ranked who I thought my top 10 were. But if
fair
you know,
enough. We're doing this on the fly.
yeah,
That's what we
number
do
three,
here.
I have Kyle Schwarber. I think he fits best in Cincinnati, but I have him re-signing in Philly.
That's fair.
That just feels like I would love to see him with the Reds. He fills that gap of veteran bat that's battle tested, proven, had amazing production this year. He doesn't need to do that again. I think he resigns in Philly because Philly's going to really want to remain competitive. And I don't know how you have a guy finish second in National League MVP voting who won like that Player's Choice MVP, and you don't resign him in the name of shaking it up a bit.
Yeah.
To me, it would be irresponsible to let a guy like that walk.
He's such a Philly hitter too. With the way their
Yeah,
offense is built right now, he is perfect to be right at the center of that. I got him staying in Philly because of what I said. Best fit, Cincinnati's an amazing fit. I went Pittsburgh because they're
yeah,
seemingly in the market, probably because of an MLBPA grievance, and because it would propel. I think these are the two teams, Cincinnati and
yeah.
Pittsburgh. A true power hitter like that changes their 2026 so much.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I just think getting a veteran in there would make a big difference for
Oh, for
Pittsburgh.
sure.
Number four, I have Bregman. I actually think he fits really well in Philadelphia. I think because
That's
they
fair.
want to seem to shake it up, but they keep talking about shaking it up, but they never do. If they really want to, he's a good option. You trade Alec Boehm for what you can get. You plug in Bregman. He's got a great glove. He's a veteran. He's a winner. That's what you want, right? If you're trying to compete and retool, he's the kind of guy you would target. But I think it's Detroit. Reuniting with Hinch, being the veteran bat that they need, he fills a hole there. So Philly best fit or a fit, Detroit where he's going to end up.
Yeah. My thing there is just they're for some reason so reluctant to let go of Bohm.
I don't get that though. I don't understand why they're like.
Yeah. Oh, I don't get it either. He's okay, but they're just like
I feel like they're
they
not
love
getting the
him for
best
some
out of him,
reason.
so I would just trade him.
Yeah. Trade him before his
That's what
value's
I'm feeling because
gone.
you can still get something for him. You can still do that. So what the fuck
Yeah.
do I know?
I
But
got him going to Detroit too. This just feels like one of those that's going to happen. They were linked to him last year. I think they were like second in like whatever the offer
yeah,
was. It just feels like it's going to happen. They're a great fit. They need a true third baseman who's great defensively, can provide offense. Boston's also a good fit because look what he did with them last year. Look how much he propelled that retool. Boston doesn't rebuild; they
yep.
retool. And but I think he just goes to Detroit, like you said, re, re reunite with
Yeah, it
AJ
just makes
Hinch,
sense, in my
just
opinion.
a place that needs
Yeah.
him.
Number five, I have Cody Bellinger. Um, I went Detroit would be a good fit, but I think he's actually going to be a Met. Stays in New York,
Okay,
solves the outfield issue there because that was a big problem for him last year. Um, Veteran wants to win. Maybe the Mets feel like you pair him and Soto together, something's there. I just think he provides stability in that outfield that really center field was a major problem for him last year. Right? You bring him in, throw him in center.
yeah,
He can help cover up for Juan Soto's deficiencies if you want to play him in the field. I don't know what their plan is for their lineup, but to me, he's exactly what the Mets need, which is a proven, consistent player at bat. They can afford him, but Detroit would be a very good fit as well.
I was gonna say like something a little different. This is a bit of a risky signing if he leaves New York because he's been inconsistent since his
That
MVP
is
year, like
true,
year to
and
year,
he may want to just stay in the same surroundings. But I think he
and
will level
that's
off, and just this is who he is now. I think
okay. That's
what
why I've got him staying. I got him staying with the Yankees because that's where he was really good. Got a lot of good looks
totally
behind
get
Aaron
it. Good
Judge this
call.
year. He's a perfect fit there. He fit right in. He's a
Yeah,
Yankee. And I think that's where he stays.
I can't disagree with that at all, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he moves on. Alonso, I think. So this is weird. This is kind of off the board. I think a great fit for him is the Mets just staying, but it feels like that bridge is kind of It feels like both sides are kind of over it, but it does make sense. I have him going to the Giants. This is a classic San Francisco Giants move. Veteran hitter,
Yep.
getting up there in age. Let's sign him to a big contract. That feels. This feels so Giantsy. I don't know if I've heard a lot about this, but it just feels like a Giants move.
It does. It really does. Now that you say that,
I kind of could
I
use
think
some
that's a
pop in
good
that
fit
lineup
as
too a
well.
little bit. So
They could. And also, this is such a Giants thing to do because their only good prospect is a first
yeah,
baseman.
it's so San Francisco Giants. It has Giants written all over it.
It's perfect.
It's not great. This is the perfect fit. This is where he's gonna be.
Yeah, if San Fran's gonna stay the organization we know they are, they
Yeah,
will
they're going
sign
for
Pete
Alonso.
Alonso.
100% they are.
I I do think he somehow stays with the New York
Wow.
Mets.
I just don't see them reconciling.
That's fair. I think he's loved it there his whole time, and he's a perfect fit with the chemistry. Great
I
power
get it.
bat, has had a lot of great moments there. If a smaller market team wants to throw cash at him, I think it would be Cincinnati. I think he's a perfect fit there. Like you said, they need a veteran bat, and I think if they go after one, it'll be Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
But it's good. In my mind, it's tough to see him leave the Mets.
I don't have that issue in my mind.
Okay,
But like I said,
fair
I
enough.
really
No,
think it makes sense for him to go back to the Mets. I think, but I just don't know. It feels like a really weird situation there with those two sides with him like immediately opting
it
out.
did last year too,
Hey,
though.
that's true.
It did
Maybe
last
I'm
year
maybe I'm
too, though.
falling victim to recency bias, but yeah,
Steve Cohen's got money.
yeah, he's got a lot of money. Can't buy a win though. Seven, I have Valdez. I think he's sticking in Houston. I think if Houston again, it looks like they want to compete, and you can't lose Valdez and compete. Like even with the emergence of Hunter Brown, you can't win with just him. You need Framber Valdez in your rotation if they want to try and compete with Seattle for the division next year. They need Framber Valdez,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to pay.
I think they should be in the running for him without a doubt, but they've had a track record of letting players walk once they've hit free agency recently.
That's
They
true.
haven't been
Uh,
good with once they're on the open market, they've been losing them a lot recently. I think this is the guy Baltimore goes after and pays the
oh,
big
I like
bucks to.
that. Yeah.
They need someone at the
Yeah.
front of that rotation. I think it's going to be Framber
It's a
Valdez.
great call. You know, you said that early in the episode too, but that's I really like that move for Baltimore. Like really stable when you think about it. Really, aside from
Yeah, that's what they
aside from
need.
throwing at his catcher, his results have been pretty stable. So aside from that,
Yeah.
uh I'll move on to number 8. It's Michael King for me. Maybe a bit higher than other people have him, but I think his best fit is with the Jays. I think he signs with the Jays. This is the starter who I think the Jays are going to end up with. I have them in on a couple other guys. You know, you keep hearing they're in on every single starter. Michael King makes sense to me. I was thinking he maybe goes back to San Diego, but they're so broke. I don't think they can afford him.
They are. Also, side note, we should have talked about this earlier. The Padres are up for
Yeah,
sale.
because they're losing so much money.
Like their old owner, before he passed away, he put everything into this, and now his family just
Well,
can't
the
pay
really
it.
sad thing is that he didn't want his family to sell it, and 2 years after he dies, the son is selling it.
Yeah. He put his fortune into this team and to see a ring and it just isn't
Yeah.
panning out.
I I just think
Yeah.
Michael King just makes sense for the Jays. You know, a really good starter. Like, yeah, I think he was banged up, missed pretty much half the season last year. But
Yeah, from sleeping on his shoulder weird.
yeah, I don't know how real that is. But that sounds so fake to me. But if you look at
It
you know
does.
his last 3 years total, like, look, as a starter, he's been very very good. Okay, he's what they need.
Yeah.
He can be your guy if you have him to a multi-year deal. Gosman's up next year. Maybe you let him walk and you keep Michael King as your replacement to Kevin Gosman.
Okay.
That if you want to think long term about it, if you don't feel like you can afford Gosman or you don't want to retain him, I think King is a really good number 2. I don't think he's a 1, but I think he's a really good 2.
I think Michael King's a little underrated. People have been glossing over him, looking over him a little bit the past few years. I think he was really good last year. He was really good this
His
year until he got
2024 was
hurt
phenomenal,
as well.
phenomenal 2024.
Yeah. And yeah, he's great. Throws across the body,
Nasty stuff,
great delivery
nasty
as a
stuff.
pitcher. Nasty. I think he goes to a division rival, a team that doesn't want to rebuild because they've got a lot of young players and long-term contracts. The Arizona
Whoa.
Diamondbacks are going to double down. They're going to bring in triple down. They went Montgomery, Burns.
Yeah,
They're going
Montgomery and
Michael
Burns
King
worked
this
out
year.
great, Keenan. The owner fucking hates Montgomery and Burns blew out his arm.
He does. But this is what Arizona is going to do. They have a lot of young talent signed to long-term deals. They can't go for a rebuild.
I feel like Arizona might just stay the course though, and just think we can just grit through it.
The thing is, they've been so close. I feel like they're going to
I
throw
get
money at
that. It's
someone.
because they moved the Montgomery contract, right?
Yeah, and
It
that
was
I think
yeah,
that was
it was
done
two
after
years
this year
anyway, so
anyway.
they're okay. Yeah, they have some money. I like that. I think he's a good fit in Arizona. Uh,
Yeah, I think he's a great fit in San
he's a good
Diego
fit
as well.
anywhere.
But like you
Starting
said, they're
pitchers are
gonna.
always good. You know, he fits everywhere.
That's
That's
true.
and Ranger Suarez as well. I have him at number 9. I think he fits really well in Toronto, but I just don't think it's going to happen with Toronto. I would love to have another lefty in there, but I think he goes back to Philly. I think Philly is blowing smoke with this. We want to retool. We want to change it up. I think they're going to cave. They're going to panic. They're going to pay him. That is what I think is going to happen with Ranger
Okay.
Suarez. Just my opinion. Could definitely.
I've got a bit of a different opinion there. I think Philly's too focused on this offensive retool, and they trust Wheeler a lot. They've got Andrew Painter down there as well. That they're gonna let Ranger Suarez walk and free up the
Do you
cash there.
trust Andrew Painter, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola to all stay healthy?
I don't trust Andrew Painter to play in the major leagues next year. But Philly is really
How
high
many
on him.
innings do you think Wheeler and Nola throw next year combined?
About 220 because Wheeler eats innings, but Nola sucked
Yeah,
last
so
year.
I feel like you cannot afford to let this guy go. Like if you re-sign him, your rotation is now a strength that can carry you through an offensive rebuild. Right? So I think it
100%.
actually makes
I
sense for
think
them to
the
not focus as much on the offense. Focus on your pitching, double down on it, right? That to me is
they
the way to
should
go.
they should, but I think they're just too focused on trying to fix the offense. I think they're gonna lock in too much on that being the problem that they're gonna lose a bit of
I get
starting
that too, though.
pitchers.
That makes sense, yeah.
And you know where I got
Where's
him
that?
going? Toronto.
Wow.
This is their
Plan the
guy.
parade. Plan the parade if they get Ranger Suarez. Phenomenal pitcher. Would love to see that. And it's a fit. It's a fit. Toronto needs a starter.
It's a good fit. I think Baltimore's going to be in on him as well. I've made this very clear. I think they're going to be active
They
in the
have to
front
be
in
this year.
the
Yeah, yeah,
starting
they have to
pitching.
be.
They do, and I think they're going to get Valdez and come up short with Suarez.
Do you think that if they sign one, they'd still go after the other and try and make a big statement that way?
They do. I think this front office is on their last straw. They're going to do
I like
everything
that.
they
That's a
can to
good
bring in
idea.
as
Yeah.
much starting pitching as they
Okay,
can.
Keenan. Yeah, I like that you're projecting strength for the Orioles. I like that. No, I could see that happening. My number 10 is Dylan Cease. I think good fit is the
Okay.
Mets because Cease is so reliable, not in performance, but in terms of making starts and being a decent-ish starting pitcher. The Mets make sense because they've had so many injuries. They just need a guy who can make 30 starts. And Dylan Cease, no matter how good the stuff is, no matter how good the command is, he can show up and pitch for you. So I think he'd be great with the
Hmm.
Mets, but I think this is the statement that the A's make. The A's will sign
Okay.
Dylan Cease and show we care now. We need a starter badly.
We
We're
can.
signing Dylan Cease.
All
That's my
right.
prediction.
I've
I went a bit bold with it, bit bold, but I think it makes sense.
You got to go
Yeah,
bold. It's the off season.
you know,
We got to
it's
have
it's
fun
it's
here.
Wednesday in November. If you're not going ball and trade predictions, what the hell are you
It
doing?
is.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Fair enough. I got Dylan Cease going to Boston. This feels like a Boston
yeah,
starting pitcher
yeah, I
for the
like this.
same
You've been,
reasons
you've been
you
on a roll
said.
today.
Reliable, inning
Yeah,
eater,
he's
allows
a Red Sox.
runs.
He's
That's
a Red
Boston.
Sox.
That is
Yeah, it's very
Boston.
Boston. Oh, you fucking think you're better than me? Ah!
Yeah. He will go 7 innings, 4 earned runs so many times in Boston.
7 innings, 4 runs is that's the most John Lackey start you've ever heard in your life. Oh my god.
Exactly. This is
Yeah.
Boston. This
This
is
is this is Derek
that is his
Lowe.
spot. It just
Yeah,
feels
oh,
like
this
Boston.
is this is Red Sox heritage. That's such a great read. I want to change it to Boston so badly, but I can't. Oh,
I will say I think the A's is a good shout. It's a great fit because stability in that
yeah.
rotation, that was their big problem in 2024. If they are legit, and this is a big
Yeah.
if, I don't think they're going to be legit until they're in Vegas, so I don't see them going after Dylan Cease, who's going to warrant a multi-year deal.
What year did they move to Vegas?
Whenever the stadium's done.
Maybe they may want to have someone, on the roster to draw them in pitching wise. That may be
True,
it. But
true, but I
I
think
just think
Boston will
I
outbid
think the
them.
A's want to make a I think they want to make a splash.
Okay.
And
I
like
just think
Dylan Cease is their
Boston will
version of a
outbid them.
splash. Obviously, you're not targeting real talent. But.
Of course. Hey, they almost got freed last year.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really weird. It was
That
last
was
year.
very
Last
weird.
offseason was weird with the A's. It felt like a fever dream.
Yeah. We got to talk about the Blue Jays a little more in depth here, though.
Yeah,
Like
because they have one of the
yeah,
most interesting off seasons going on right now. Because they're clearly in the market for a high leverage reliever. They were rumored to be in on
yeah,
Iglesias before he resigns in Atlanta. They're in on Diaz. In my opinion, they should be in on Helsley. It feels like you need to come up with one of these guys, though. You need an Edwin Diaz.
you do.
You need someone because look, Jays Nation has a lot of love for Jeff Hoffman. A lot of love for what he did last year and the workload he had, especially early in the season. But I'm okay if he's not the closer next year. I was kind of thinking of scenarios, all throughout September in ways that he's not the closer and that he would be deployed in that Louis Varland role throughout the playoffs in my ideal world. Um, just as a high leverage guy who can go who can get you, 4 or 5 outs. I think they'll get Diaz or Helsley. I think they'll get one of those two guys. They need look Helsley. It didn't work out with the Mets, but relief pitching's
Yeah,
weird. Okay, a couple bad outings can skew your
it is.
ERA. I think if they get Evan Diaz or Ryan Helsley, that bullpen looks really good now, right? Because you got Jimmy coming back,
It
So
does.
I think you need to add a high leverage reliever now. Don't worry about don't wait till the deadline again. Don't
No.
do that. Get them now, sort
They
it out.
will
Obviously, they'll make a deal.
they will bring someone in
You
my
have
opinion. Atkins Atkins came out, I think it was 2 weeks ago, said Hoffman's not married to the closer role, which is a great start because they've already built such a good culture
yeah,
here in Toronto. The last thing you want is the closer trying to cling
100%.
to that
Yeah,
closing
they
role.
just want to win.
He knows when you're as close as they were to the World Series, the year after is all about winning. It's not about me. You want to get back there and you're going to do everything you can to finish the job this year. And I think it's going to be bringing in Edwin Diaz, going in for him. I don't think it'll be Housley only because he came out already and said he wants to go back to the Cardinals. He said that at the
No one
deadline
really wants to
too.
go back to the Cardinals. He's bluffing.
For some reason, he
He's
does though.
bluffing.
He's still
Keenan,
talking
Keenan,
about it,
he's bluffing. I promise he's.
but he doesn't shut up about going back to the
Yeah, that's what like a
Cardinals.
guilty person says. I didn't kill that guy, right? That's
Okay,
he
fair
doesn't want to
enough.
go back there. Maybe he feels guilty about leaving. I don't know. Nobody wants to go back to
Yeah.
Cardinals. Um,
Do you think they're in on Tucker?
yeah, I do think they're in on Tucker. I think they're sneakily. I think there's a world where the Blue Jays sign Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette, and then trade for a pitcher. Maybe don't sign a big one, but
Okay.
I do think there is like a world where it's Tucker and it's Bo, and let's just roll the dice.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you sign Kyle Tucker, you probably don't re-sign Dalton Varsho next year because Varshow's up after next year,
I think you can
and
take that. I think
completely
you
you
can
can
take
tank
that
that,
though.
right? Varsho, his power pace for home runs was unreal this year. Probably not going to replicate that next year, even if he's healthy, right? So
Also, health
yeah, there
concerns.
are health concerns, and that outfield as well is getting a little bit old in age. But to me, if you bring in Tucker, and to me, I'm treating Santander like he's just coming in now. That offense now, with a healthy Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker, Anthony Santander, Springer, Guerrero, Kirk, that's really good. Barger and Varsho as well. Like that's a really good team. I think, and Tucker's better than anything you're going to get next year. So go for Tucker now. That is what I would say. And
Yeah.
then maybe I don't want to say you move on from Varsho before he's up, but if you feel like you can, maybe move on from Varsho at the deadline, get some assets back. He may be your ticket to getting a high leverage reliever at the deadline if you miss, or at a starter. He's your essentially becomes your get out of jail free card if you have an injury. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I think Tucker makes sense though for Toronto.
I think he does too. I mean, they've been rumored to be bringing him in alongside the Yankees and Dodgers.
It's
This is shades
it's
of
the
the last
usual
couple of
suspects.
years.
It's the usual
It's the
suspects.
usual
Bring them all
suspects.
in, yeah.
And I think it's time they're not the runner-up this time. Like eventually you throw as much money at players as they are, eventually someone's going to
Hundred
sign,
percent. Yeah. If
right?
it,
And I
surely,
think
surely
it's
they
going to be
will. Law
this
of
year.
averages, right?
Yeah, the law of average says, unfortunately,
Always the
I
bridesmaid, never the
yeah, I
bride.
think this
That's the Jays. So
I think it's going to be hard for Kyle Tucker to turn down a mega deal from the Blue Jays, seeing the culture that they built this year and how close they
yeah,
were.
he's gonna feel like he can be the
Like
missing piece.
nothing really went wrong after
I
May.
can I just say for the Jays too, like get ready for some regression next year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Unless you bring in
Kyle
a
Tucker,
significant arm, significant
because
hitter, expect
not
some
only did things
regression.
not really go wrong, everything kind of went right. Like
Everything did
everything went
kind of go
right
right.
up until Miguel
Yeah,
Rojas homering after the month of May. Everything went
yeah.
right. So it's not going to be like that every year.
No, there should be some regression. But after the year you had this year, you can still expect to be in the playoff
100%
mix. Like it's not
fight
gonna
for the
be.
division.
Don't expect crazy
No,
regression. You are a
they're not
good
going to have like
team.
a 10
You've
win
got
regression.
pieces.
I could see them finishing around 90 wins next year.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good pace.
I think they're a
I think
playoff
that's
team.
a
They're a
good
playoff
pace.
team despite what some Jays fans want you to believe. This isn't like look, the Blue Jays are 5th in payroll. John Schneider does not deserve manager of the year. Okay? I don't want to. I don't want to.
It was David and Goliath though.
I just
Come
hate how
on.
they're like, it's Manager of the Year is not it's not the biggest turnaround award. It's not the best
No.
performance relative to your performance last year. It's who managed their team best in the year of 2025. And John Schneider, God bless him, had one of the highest paid teams in the league. And he won his division, was the one
Yeah.
seed. That's great. You're supposed to do that when you have that much money in the team. Like that, the Toronto Blue Jays are immensely talented. And when I look at the Guardians, they have no talent. They lost their two best players in the offseason. So everyone says they won the division last year. Yeah, and they lost their second best offensive player and their best pitcher midway through the season on a gambling charge, as well as Luis Ortiz as well. So really the only hitter there is J-Ram, and Kwan was banged up. And they had a historic divisional overtake of the Tigers. Yeah, the Tigers collapsed, but the Guardians also converted. Everybody fails to understand that. The Guardians were converting on their wins, and it was magical, and I don't know how they won any baseball games, because that team sucks. If you go up and down,
They did.
if you go down the line, the Blue Jays are better at every single position, including the rotation, including on the bench. The only position they're not is that the Guardians of Jose Ramirez. That's it.
Yeah.
And they still won their division.
Maybe Kate Smith is better than
Yeah, he probably is.
Hoffman. But that's it. That's the only other one.
Like
Like,
the Guardians are a bad team with no payroll, and Stephen Vogt got them to overtake the biggest deficit in Major League history. That's Manager of the Year.
it is.
I'm sorry, the Jays
Without a
should be
doubt.
this good. They pay this much money. If the Jays didn't win 90 games, Schneider was going to get fired.
Yeah. And even if there's a world where they win the division and he still gets fired. Like if they didn't beat the Yankees, he's probably gone.
Yeah, 100%.
Vote didn't beat the Tigers. Everyone's like, yeah, he's staying.
Yeah, because the Guardians suck. And they won the division
Yeah.
somehow. And I don't care. Don't tell me it's not a serious division because three of the teams made the playoffs last year. Okay? There are good teams in that division. The Tigers are really good.
And the Tigers almost made the ALCS.
Yeah, the
this
Tigers pushed the Mariners who pushed the Jays. So I don't want to hear any of this crap. Like no. That division, just because they have the White Sox doesn't mean they're bad. Because the Orioles suck too, and the Rays have kind of resigned themselves to mediocrity, which is kind of weird. And the Royals just had a weird year, but they're still really good pitching wise. The Central is not a joke of a division. If there's any division that's like that, it's the AL West. Because the Rangers kind of suck too. I don't know.
year. Yeah, and Houston's
Yeah,
trending
I just don't want to
down.
discredit the job that Stephen Vogt did, which was incredible. And if there was just a Major League Manager of the Year award, he would have won it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, there is no. We understand what manager of the year
Most people
is.
don't, though, Keenan. That's the thing.
Most people don't,
People,
surprisingly. I love how nobody disagreed that Pat
yeah.
Murphy deserved it. That was just yeah,
You know, the
he
thing
gets
about
it.
people, Keenan, is they always let you down. They always
They
you know,
do.
it's like that quote from Men in Black where it's like a person is smart but people are dumb. Like that's
Yeah.
as soon as one person hears one thing, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. You know, like oh, it's tiring, isn't it? It's tiring.
It's very tiring. We ended it there.
That's a
I
good
think
place
that's a
to end
perfect
it. That's a
spot
good
to
place
end
to
the
end it. Good
episode.
episode.
It's a good episode. Great episode. We'll see you guys next time.